Tell us about your food industry experience.
Well, I started doing cakes when my kids were little. I decided I wanted to do their cakes for their birthdays. And then I started taking classes, and then after that, my instructor at Wilton, Michaels in Shakopee, had asked me if I wanted to teach, and I was just so excited about that opportunity. So I teach cake classes at Michaels in Shakopee. And then I started doing cakes out of my home too, so I'm busy almost every weekend doing cakes, and I just cook cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and I just absolutely love it. So.
Do you have cake decorating, baking, or pastry experience?
Yes, I have experience doing buttercream, royal icing, gum paste, fondant, modeling chocolate. I do cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and ice cream cakes.
Describe your construction and technical abilities. What's the hardest cake you've designed and made?
I have done 3D cakes. I've done Rice Krispie cakes where I carve the Rice Krispies, carve the cake. I've also done some modeling chocolate figures and animals. I've pretty much done what there is to do for cakes. I've done a lot of it. So.
Is there a specific genre of food or desserts you like to bake or cook, such as vegan? What type of baking do you hate to do?
The other question too that I forgot to answer, the hardest cake that I did was my 4-layer cake that was a house cake. I did 4 layers. It was a pretty tall cake. It was a 4-layer house cake that I carved the cake, and then I added fondant on the sides with a Rice Krispie roof, and then a porch. It was a 2-story house cake, and then I did a Rice Krispies car, and then the 6 people on the lawn, and that was something I hadn't done before, so that was a great challenge. And then your other question, what was your other question, David?
Is there a specific genre of food or dessert that you like to bake or cook?
I love cookies, cupcakes, cakes, pies, ice cream cakes, and then I have also done some vegan buttercream recipes, which are really fun, and I tried them out, and I just was excited how they tasted really good, so that was a lot of fun. And I love also trying out new recipes, combining the 2 recipes, and then making my own recipe and coming up with new recipes. So.
What type of baking do you hate?
Well, I don't have that much experience with pastry. I have tried a couple pastry things. Of course, they tasted very good, but they didn't look very pretty. So I love pastries. I just don't have as much experience with pastries.
How elaborate and creative are your designs when baking?
Well, I have done quite a few different cakes. I've done 3D cakes. I did a cake that had a tool belt on it with tools that I handmade on the cake. And then I also did, let's see, some fondant animals and some fondant people on the cake. And then I've done some purses, some purse cakes, and then gum paste shoe cakes. For my cousin, she graduated from nursing school. I sculpted a syringe needle, and then I put that on her cake along with a pill bottle and some pills, and then a scrub coat on the cake, so that was really fun. They actually thought it was a real needle, which was really fun. And then my Mario cake, I sculpted some Mario people on the sides of the cake, and then I did the Rice Krispies castle on the top. So those are some of my cakes that I've done. So.
Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Well, I am a dental assistant. I've been a dental assistant for 10 years. I like doing dental assisting. I do it part-time, but I would like to be able to quit that and have my own shop. That's just my hugest passion that I've had for the past 6 years since I've done cakes. I just would like to quit and do this full-time. I just love it so much. And then I have 3 crazy, wacky kids. They're 6, 4, and 2. So they are so much fun, but sometimes stressful, but I love having kids and love being a mom. And I also am a preschool teacher, so my son is in preschool and I'm teaching him preschool, and then I'll teach my others in preschool too, so I enjoy doing that too.
Where do you get your recipes from?
My recipes are pretty much all from online, and then some I have from cookbooks. I like to take different recipes, take one recipe and then the other recipe, and then combine them and come up with a new recipe. I'm always trying to find new ways to come up with new recipes to add to my list of recipes that I give to clients, so it's super fun to just try out, do new things.
How would you rate your skill level when it comes to baking?
Baking, I would say I'm average.
And decorating?
Decorating, I'm saying an expert.
And pastries and desserts?
Pastries and desserts, I'd be a beginner.
How would you rate your decorating skills when under time constraints? I get it done quickly, not a problem. I tend to take my time no matter the constraint. I get stressed out and often don't finish. Are you usually happy with the end result?
I usually finish all the time. I would say the middle one, so I finish with the time constraint, with the time allotted. And I do like to plan ahead a lot. I will take my sketches or take a piece of paper and sketch out what I want to plan out or do, or have it in my head. Usually it's better to have it on paper. But just plan out what I want to do, and then once I have that, I usually just get it till it's done. And then what was your other question?
Are you happy with the end result?
Yes, usually I'm almost always I'm happy.
What in your opinion makes a great cake baker or a decorator?
Well, with my students I teach at Wilton Cake classes, I always tell them that realize that you're learning, so you need to practice. I tell them to practice in between lessons. So the biggest thing about being a great baker and great decorator is practice. When I first was learning how to do cakes, I would learn something new every time, so that was the big thing. So I always tell people to practice, 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 and you'll get better.
What makes a bad cake decorator?
Well, usually when you're learning and starting out, you're not very good. But once you practice, then you get better and you learn something each time. So.